Lisa, here we go. Take a look at this monster storm. We keep talking about how large it is. It's a huge tropical complex. You take a look at that well-defined eye. It's north of the coast of Cuba right now. A couple of days ago, the Euro took it and didn't drill it into Cuba, but let it drag right along the top part of Cuba here. It's looking more and more likely like it's going to split the difference between the Euro and the GFS. You see it wobble a little bit? Remember how we got used to that wobble last year with Matthew? We kept talking about how it shakes a little. As this thing comes this way, you see it wobble just a little bit. I don't think its total eyewall replacement cycle is going on yet, but it has wobbled just a little bit. So I'm going to split the difference and say it probably tags the island or maybe just goes just north of there. More interference we can get with the system from Cuba, the better off it would be for all of us. You don't wish anything bad on the island nation of Cuba, but if it's going to go that way, chances are it would help us out a bunch. Right now, wind speeds are 155 with this system. The pressure has risen to 925 millibars, which is up from yesterday at this time. It was at 916. Lower the pressure in general terms, the higher the wind. It's kind of translating that way as this thing has marched its way all the way across the Atlantic. Now, the turn is coming. We just don't know the exact hour of the turn. All the models sense the turn coming and push it this way. This track has moved a little bit during the last 24 hours. If you were with us last night, I was just screaming about how much it gets your attention when the line goes right over the heart of your viewing area. Well, here we go. It's jogged a little farther west than that in the last 24 hours. 36 to 48 hours ago, it was over here, splitting east of Okeechobee, but now they've jogged it this way first, and now following the models a little farther to the west. So that's the latest path. Should be right up here Monday morning at 8 a.m. as a Category 1 storm. A lot will be determined as to how much power this thing is going to have when it comes through here based on where it actually ends up going. The models today all still tightly wound and tightly in agreement, and since they all moved west, so did the official forecast track from the National Hurricane Center. Now keep in mind, the hurricane's going to do what it's going to do. We can talk about the tracks all day. We think that's the best idea of where it's going to go in the next 24 to 48 hours. Here's the in-house model. It does about the same thing, brings it to about right here, and then brings it this way and stops right there northwest of Miami. In the meantime, we've got scattered showers on radar to deal with now. This is a dying cold front. This is the front that moved in that was helping turn this big, huge tropical system. This is not actually Irma rain yet. This rain's more from the frontal boundary that's hanging out and a little convergence that's going on. I'll be back in a few more minutes. We'll talk more about where this thing is going, the different scenarios. Danny Trainer is in-house again today, too. He'll have impacts for you and a little more of a timeline to give an idea of when you have to be inside and how long you're going to be under those tropical storm force winds. Back to you.
All right, Tom, thank you. And we